Hi crafty friend, it's Justine Dvorak from Stationery by Justine, where when I craft my world stands still. Today I'm going to make this gorgeous card from Trinity Stamps products, and I'm over here on the Trinity Stamps channel. I'm very excited to be here, back here I suppose. I've been on here before. I'm going to make a Slimline shaker card because I love shakers, and Trinity has fabulous embellishments, so why not? I'm going to use this Slimline set, which is right here. You can see it's called Embossed Circles, Windows and Panels Slimline Series die set. And I'm also using new products like this one, the Nurse Appreciation stamp set, and this stamp set that is the Indispensable. It has coordinating dies for all of the little pieces and the sentiments. I love a sentiment coordinating die. Anyway, before we get started, I'm going to prep my Slimline window just so it is ready to go and has a chance to kind of set up before I start adding all my bits and bobs to it. So I'm going to use a silver Sharpie just to mark out where I need to cut my acetate first. Then once that is cut down to size, I'm going to use a little bit of liquid glue and just add that on. Before I do that though, I just want to mention what kind of acetate I'm using. It is way easier to use the full panel shaker windows, but I'm using some acetate that was supposed to be like cake decorating, if that makes any sense at all. But it's a little bit cheaper, but I think the full panel options are way easier to use, especially because this is curly acetate, which is not the easiest to work with, but you know, it works. So I'm going to let that sit under some heavy things so it is nice and flat and dry by the time I add my shaker bits. I just love using color blocking with white and black and a pop of color. So let's dive into the coloring. This stamp set is super fun. I love the bold and bubble letters that is on this stamp set. I love using different colors to make this stamp set a little bit different on each card I make. I made a video over on my channel that was part of the Trinity Stamps Hop for this month, and I used the same stamp set and it looks totally different. I didn't use pink, I used a teal and orange colorway, and I think that was really a different look than what I'm going to be doing here today. So it's always fun to stretch supplies and use different colors and just make different things with the same supplies. Might as well stretch them and make your cards a little different each time. Now I'm using RV, which are like the red violet tones, which is basically pink, and I'm doing a dark and a light color on top. And you'll notice I'm leaving the U with the stethoscope not pink because I'm going to color that with some cool tones, or the C's, just to make it look a little bit more metallic. And then you'll notice off to the side I have several stamps all stamped and die cut and ready to be colored. The pill bottle one I'm probably not going to add onto this card. You might have noticed that from the beginning, but it is super cute. It just wasn't fitting the overall vibe that I was going. I think I just colored it the wrong colors in my opinion, so you won't see me coloring that, but you will see it all of a sudden magically colored and then just not be on the card. So I thought I'd just give you a little warning. Now this blue-green color looks super cute with the pink, so it's basically teal, and teal and pink look very cute together. And let's talk about why. Pink is in the color way of red, right? So red, but this pink that I used is red violet, which is red and purple. And the opposite of red on the color wheel is green, and green is in teal. So pink and teal definitely look cute together. Anyway, I chose that hot pink color because of those adorable little band-aids that are the shaker bits off to the side there. Do you see how adorable those little hearts are there? You might not be able to get a great look at them right now, but you will once I show you some close-ups. I wanted these band-aids to coordinate with the shakers, but I also wanted to use the happy faces that was part of the stamp because everything is so cute when you put a little smile on it. Why not add a little smile? So I'm going to use E11 on these Band-Aids. And of course, the smile is kind of like straight or wonky depending on the Band-Aid. I just wanted them to look different and unique. And then I am leaving some of the holes white just so it looks a little different and it doesn't look too filled in, I suppose. Now my center, I'm using E21, which is just another beige color. And that is a very simple coloring, I'd say. Now for both of the lids, I'm using cool tones. So I'm using C5, which is the edge color. And then I'm going to use a C3 on the center. And that will just give it the illusion of the cap being rounded. And a little bit on the stethoscope as well. C5 and C3 are really great together. That's just a nice bold gray tone. Now for the bottle of medicine, I wanted the liquid to look like medicine, but also not clash with my colors that I have going on with the card. So the bottle part will be this lovely icy blue, which is blue or B00. And then the bottom part, I'm going back in with E11, which was the same color I used on the Band-Aid. I don't know what kind of medicine this would be, but let's just pretend it's some kind of liquid medicine. Beige medicine. And then we have E21, which just gives a little bit of some shadow and just interest to make the bottle look a little more rounded. And I'm also going to take a white gel pen and add a little bit of shine to the top of the bottle. You'll see that little pill bottle is colored. It is super cute, but that pink I chose on the background just was not working with the pink I chose for my letters. So I'll use it on another project because it is colored and stamped and die cut, but it just won't be on this card, which is totally fine. But I really did enjoy coloring those teeny tiny little pills that were in the bottle, and I coordinated the color of the pills to the stamp sentiment that I have here. I'm also taking the white gel pen and adding just a bit of some sparkle and shine, if you will, to the top of all the letters. Now I'm taking some foam strips and folding them over on itself to get a double piece of foam. And the double foam just allows extra room for my shaker bits to dance around. I love a shaker that is very movable, but also has that tinging loudness to it. I love hearing a shaker. It's probably just like a sensory thing. I don't know. But anytime I can make a card a shaker, I really try to reach for that foam. Give it a good thick foam around the edge and just add all the fun sparkly bits and adorable bits to the card. Nothing sparkly in this shaker, surprisingly. Now for this shaker die, I've used this die many times in my craft room. It's one that I reach for a lot. And I've made shakers where I've put different things in each of the windows and had one have maybe pink or one have teal or one have gold. But this time I wanted all of the Band-Aids to really move around. So I created one big well for my shaker bits to wiggle around in. Just take all my release tape off, and then that will make everything super duper sticky. We'll dump in my little shaker bits. These are the Band-Aids. They are so darling, and they are called Boo Boo Buddies. Can you even? As a kindergarten teacher, that is exactly what Band-Aids are. They're Boo Boo Buddies. And they have a hot pink heart on them. There's big ones and little ones. I did take a little bit of an anti-static tool and just gently dusted around in my shaker well. And this is because I want my shaker bits to move freely without static. But when you do that, if you copy what I just did, you want to be careful to not get any of the shaker hairs from the tool in there, and also not get a lot of the dust that's in the little piece into your shaker window. Oh, wow, I totally forgot that I did add sparkles. Why not add sparkles when you can? I thought I didn't. I sure did. Now, I reached for some sparkly bits and bobs from Trinity Stamps. I had Moonlight Confetti, which is kind of a silvery, I would call it like a mermaid white sequin. Snow White Confetti, which is, again, kind of a white confetti, but still kind of that mermaidy one. And then White Sparkle Spots Confetti. Now I'm putting the back of my panel on. That is just a tiny bit smaller than my teal. And press it down very firmly so nothing is getting stuck. And look at those shakers. They can move from top to bottom, side to side. Oh, that is so fun. You don't even want to know how long I played with that. I had to pause and go show my husband because I was so excited about it. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and add this to my background, which is that black panel. Super fun to do the color blocking. That is just kind of like my thing. I love doing that. Now, nothing is glued on my card, but I wanted an extra fun sentiment and something to coordinate, match, whatever, with the hot pink that I had at the top. Right now, that pink pill bottle's there, but it will be leaving. I have the stamp all ready to go. I'm using clear Versamark ink, and then I will use white embossing powder. Here it is. When I like to heat emboss, I like to use a background that is a deep or a bright, like a vibrant or deep color, and then use white embossing powder. I think it just really makes the sentiment pop. Anytime you use a heat gun, be careful, it's hot. Now, I ended up doing 2 options for my "You Are Indispensable" sentiment. At first, I did not think that I liked this pink. I thought it was a little too bold. So I ended up stamping it out again on another piece of paper with a lighter pink. Although I didn't like that as much as I like this piece. So I will just kind of skip over that or just kind of let you know that's what I did. But I did not want to waste it. I'm going to use it as a shadow. So you're going to see me glue it behind the sentiment that I already have. Anyway, I wanted to pop out some more fun embellishments. Now these are from the other medical, if you will, medical theme. And these are called Happy Pills. So cute. So I pulled out the yellow and the teal ones. And then I'm also pulling out extra Band-Aids because why not have even more Band-Aids than this card has? The amount of Band-Aids that this card has is the amount of Band-Aids that I need as a kindergarten teacher, plus more. Just kidding. Anyway, here's my little shadow moment here. Basically, I'm just gluing it behind my sentiment just to give a little extra, little fun shadow. And I did recently see Carrie Rhodes, Fabulous Carrie from Trinity Stamps. She did this with the collection that I put out from Spellbinders, and I saw her do that, and I thought, hey, I forgot about doing that, so I wanted to do it on a card that I made recently. So shout out to Carrie. Alrighty. Now, the rest of this is basically just gluing, so I will skip over a lot of the gluing. That way it's not as repetitive for you to watch. But I did want to mention, I die cut out with the coordinating die for the Nurses Like You Are Precious and Few. I die cut that out with the pink paper that I used for my sentiment and made a shadow for that as well. And I think it really helps the sentiment pop even more. So I really love how that looks. So I'm so glad I tried doing the whole shadow thing again. That is so fun. And I wish I could pass this card to you through the screen, my lovely crafty friend, so you could shake it and have as much fun as I did with it. But I guess you'll just have to make your own. So let me know what you think about this card in the comments, and let me know what you think about the colorway that I chose today. So again, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. Maybe pop over to my channel, Stationery by Justine. And until next time, we'll see you later. Bye, crafty friend.